The sentimental favourite should perhaps be number 6, Comedy Lad. He's owned by the Vice President of the Auckland Trotting Club in Max Harvey. Tony Herlihy is to drive him, and what a thrill it would be for the man who's donated all this money to contribute to the Max Harvey Auckland Trotting Cup if he could win with Comedy Lad.
Well, Max has done it before, of course, when he won the big 2-year-old race here, which he was originally going to sponsor. Comedy Lad's been off the scene since the Christmas meeting. Trainers Roy and Barry Purdon would like another race into him. He looks just a little on the fresh side, worked extra well here on Thursday, and may well be one of the chances.
So these horses parading now, only a matter of moments before we get the field underway. Just waiting for the totalisator to close here at Alexandra Park. And they'll be underway. Big crowd here tonight, or certainly looks a big crowd. We haven't got official numbers, but they're enjoying good conditions. A little bit of a breeze about, but it's certainly very pleasant here tonight. Here's our Mana now, one of the experienced southern representatives. Colin de Philippi of Christchurch not only drives the horse, he also trains it, and he'll carry the hopes for owner Jenny Barron.
This horse also worked brilliantly in Christchurch before he came up. He was placed in the Cup here last year, and he's been a bit of a bridesmaid in the big ones. He's run in the money, never actually won one. Will find it difficult from the second row draw.
Number 12 now, Lord Louis. Brent Mangos, a young driver in the north here, will get a chance to drive Lord Louis in the Auckland Cup, and he's probably the second outsider of the field.
Yes, hasn't quite come up this year. You might recall he raced in the Inter-Dominions in Australia around about this time last year and acquitted himself reasonably well. Came right towards the end of last season, has yet to show form, but he wouldn't be here if his connections didn't give him some sort of a show.
One to see is Vance Glory, number 2. Owen Purdon, who is the trainer, is also going to drive him.
One of the very successful stock of Vance Glory, super sire up here in the north, and a lot of interest in this horse's performance, with many of the progeny of Vance Hanover going under the hammer at the Great Northern Yearling sales in Claudelands rather tomorrow.
Tote has closed here before the start of the Max Harvey Auckland Trotting Cup as we look at these final horses parade. One horse we haven't seen is in fact Malaz from the south. He's a big chance too. Hamish Hunter from Invercargill has come a long way to drive him. There he is, number 11, a very smart type too. And if he gets any sort of a run, he could be somewhere thereabout. Well, John, they're about to go. Who is it for you?
Well, I'd have to stay with Royden Glen. I think he's the best horse in the country. He's about to get the chance to prove it.
Royden Glen, I think, for me, from the position that he's drawn, I regard Quite Famous as obviously a big threat. Well, they're set to go now. The Max Harvey Auckland Trotting Cup of 1986. Here's the call from Mr. Reg Cut.
Moving down. They're just about there. Here they go. Racing this time. And the 1986 Max Harvey Auckland Trotting Cup field are away. And Royden Glen is spearing up towards the lead. And up there also is Direct Kiwi. Going around the outside, we've got Placid Victors there also. Down on the inside, Spanker, Vance Glory and Comedy Lad. They're followed further back by Ben, and Lord Louis broken up by Joker at the rear of the field. On they come now to the 2,200 metres mark of the favourite. Royden Glen has made the lead. Direct Kiwi drops in to get the trail. At the moment, Placid Victors facing the breeze, but here's Jim O'Sullivan around the outside with the Aussie Quite Famous. 3 back on the inside is Spanker on in the 1-1 is Vance Glory. On the fence, Barana followed on its outside by Comedy Lad, and down on the inside is Almana. On the outside of Almana, the Ben, there's 2 lengths away. Malaz followed by Supreme Ruler, and Lord Louis at the rear. 2,000 metres out in the Auckland Cup, and Royden Glen the leader. A length and a quarter. Direct Kiwi hugs the paint and gets the trail out facing the breeze. Is Quite Famous. 3 back on the inside is Spanker on. Beautifully placed in the 1-1 is Placid Victor. Down its inside is Barana. A length away on the outside to Vance Glory. On the inside of Vance Glory, Armana. Half a length away on the outside then to Comedy Lad. 2 lengths further back to Ben. On the inside of Ben, Supreme Ruler. Second last, Malaz and Lord Louis brought up the rear. Down the back straight they stream their 1,600 out, and Royden Glen the favourite. By a length and a quarter. Direct Kiwi getting every chance with John Langdon on its outside. And facing the breeze now as they swing round the showgrounds, Ben the Australian contender Quite Famous. 3 back on the inside with 1,400 to go with Spanker on. In the 1-1 is Placid Victor, beautifully placed by Murray Mack. Down on the inside is Barana. On the outside of Barana, Barnes Story on the fence to Almana. On its outside is Comedy Lad. 12 to go in the cup. They're followed then by Supreme Ruler, who's down on the inside of Ben. Then we've got Malaz and Lord Louis, and right out of it's Spry Joker. Down they come. They're 1,100 metres out, and Royden Glen is doing it beautifully. By a length and a quarter from on the inside. Direct Kiwi on the outside is quite famous. 3 back on the fence. The Spanker on the outside. Passive Victor going well. A length the way to Barnes Glory, and down its inside is Barana. A length the way to Comedy Land, and the inside is Almana. They're followed a length away by Ben, and down on the fence Supreme Ruler. Second last Malaz, and last of that lot is Lord Louis. They're 800 metres out, and Royden Glen takes the middle of the back by a length and a half now from Quite Famous. The pace is on. On the inside, Direct Kiwi, the 1-1 Placid Victor getting a good run. 3 back Spanker on. A length the Barnes Story down on the inside. Barana locked up on its outside is Comedy Land. On the fence, Almana looking for a way out, followed then by Ben. They're followed by Malaz, who's making a bit of run, but hanging badly down the inside. Supreme Ruler and Lord Louis at the rear. Down past the 400 comes the red hot favourite, Royden Glen. Out by a length and a quarter, Direct Kiwi looks the danger. Quite Famous breaks up and goes back through the field. That gives Spanker on. Placid Victor's not going that well. They turn for home. And at the moment, Royden Glen hanging onto his back there is Direct Kiwi. They're followed by Spanker on, and further back to Almana. At the 150 pole, it's Royden Glen. They're followed Direct Kiwi on the outside. Almana through on the inside of the great run. It's Comedy Land. It's Royden Glen. Barana coming fast down the outside. They go to the line, and Comedy Land has won. Comedy Land has beaten Royden Glen in the last stride. Then Barana, Almana, followed by Spanker on Direct Kiwi. They're followed then by Lord Louis. Then Supreme Ruler, Ben. Further back to Barnes Glory. Then Quite Famous, Placid Victor, and Malaz, and Spry Joker came home at the rear.
Well, who's won the Max Harvey Auckland Trotting Cup? Is it to be Mr. Max Harvey himself with Comedy Lad, or is it going to be Royden Glen? A desperate finish to the final stages of the race. We're only going to sort it out by having another look at the replay, but it is very, very close. I think at this stage we might go number 6, Comedy Lad. Let's have a look.
Well, they turn for home, and this is where the fireworks begin to start, because Fred Fletcher's getting awfully anxious on the favourite, Royden Glen. Direct Kiwi, the horse one off the fence, is pressing hard. Spanker on in the black colours is making a run as well. Now watch for the run of Comedy Lad, because he comes through down close to the fence. You see the horse with the white neckband starting to come home very strongly against the rails. There's enough room for him to get through. Fred Fletcher now throwing the kitchen sink and everything else at Royden Glen. He's still in front, but look at Comedy Lad come through that gap, and watch for the run of the other horses that are going to finish up in a photo. But there's no doubt about it, Comedy Lad's got up. He'd win it by a good head from Royden Glen in second place, and it's anybody's guess as to what's run 3rd, 4th and 5th, because obviously the judge is going to call on the camera.
Down here, John, I've got to interrupt you. Down here in the birdcage, you've got a very excited man. Max Harvey, you've done it. You've finally done it. Look in those latter stages whether you
no
could.
way.
No. Well,
No way.
tremendous. You won your cup, and that is marvellous. Well, Max Harvey is very excited. Look at the look. We'll bring you more details in a moment as we get confirmation.
Well, there it is. Max Harvey's Comedy Lad has won the Max Harvey Auckland Cup. No question about that. Number 5, Royden Glen, would be second. And it's anybody's guess what would be third, but I think number 1, Direct Kiwi, just might have held on.
Yeah.
And there he is coming back to scale. Comedy Lad. Now it looks as if number 4, Barana's got up to take third place. The judge has just confirmed it. The placings are 6, 5 and 4. Comedy Lad, Royden Glen and Barana. Comedy Lad, a 5-year-old by Sir Dalray, was bought by Max Harvey from Southland much earlier in his career. He's been unlucky to some extent. He's been placed in big races, and he's now won the richest horse race ever run in New Zealand, the $250,000 Max Harvey Auckland Cup. And we'll be back in a moment or two with official.
Sorry, play again.
Well, there's the winner of the Max Harvey Auckland Cup, number 6, Comedy Lad.
Okay.
And the judge has just informed us that third placing has not in fact been confirmed. It's very close indeed. First and second confirmed. 6, Comedy Lad the winner, and 5, Royden Glen is second. But some doubt now about the third placing. He's gone for another photo. And you see the dress rug just being placed on the winner. And Comedy Lad now has won his 18th race, and his total stake earnings rocket up to just over the $300,000 mark. He's been a very good horse indeed. He got hurt after he raced here at Christmas time, worked well enough here on Thursday for his trainers to be pretty happy about his condition, but they did feel he might need another run. Well, on what he showed us tonight in those last 100 metres, he was absolutely cherry ripe. And of course Tony Herlihy, the driver, and what a season it's been for him. Earlier he won the World Drivers' Championship conducted in New Zealand and Australia, and now wins without a doubt his most important race, the $250,000 Max Harvey Auckland Cup. And still no sign of that third placing being posted. We are now starting to imagine all sorts of things like dead heats, so we'll just have to wait until the judges confirmed that placing. 4 and 1 of the 2 horses involved in that close photo for third. Wonderful crowd here tonight. So the presentation at the moment just going on down here, John, and Max Harvey receiving the trophy, while this very good horse who had so many doubts about his performance coming into the race with injury scares, and Roy Purdon said, well, he knew he was pretty well, but he wasn't sure whether he'd be ready enough for a tough race like that. Well, he certainly was, and the thrill on that man's face, as you saw before, Max Harvey from Auckland in winning the Auckland Cup that is named after him, quite a remarkable effort indeed. And really, Philip, the most unconcerned individual associated with this is Comedy Lad himself. He looks as if all he wants to do is get back and get his head down and eat some nice green grass. Tony Herlihy, who's the coolest and calmest of drivers, is looking rather pleased with himself as well, and so he should be. It was a masterly drive, and there's not many drivers game enough to go down on the inside at the end of a race like that and then hope the gap's going to open up in time for you to get through and win. Well, it did, and the result is now, of course, in the history books, and Comedy Lad wins the richest horse race ever run in New Zealand. It's understandable, John, why I think Comedy Lad's excited, but Tony Herlihy has joined me. Tony, could you just come over this way a little? Thank you. Congratulations, Tony, and really, did you ever believe when you were in that position about 150 out that you were going to get the break you needed?
No, they all sort of spread out once we turned for home, and he was running home real good, like he was going to get second, and then Royden Glen was just stopping the shade short of the line, and he just, once he saw the gap, he really burst again. Actually, he sort of went again. Roy was obviously a little worried that he may not be quite ready for a tough race like that. Was it a race that really suited him? Yeah, well, he sort of got in good early and that, and he was a bit lucky there. He didn't have to work too hard early. But he, like just the way the race was done, and it was a great achievement by Roy to have the horse ready. It was just incredible, and the horse felt so well. Tony, you had a marvellous year last year in winning the World Drivers' Championship and leading driver. It must be very satisfying to have won it, also for Max Harvey. Yes, it's certainly satisfying for myself, and I can only imagine how satisfying it must be for Mr. Harvey and everybody connected. Well, the crowd reacted. I know they beat a good horse, or you beat a good horse in Royden Glen. He had to bow tonight, but definitely it was a great performance, and congratulations to you. Thank you very much, Phil. There we are, Tony Herlihy, the successful driver aboard Comedy Lad in the Max Harvey Auckland Trotting Cup. Well, we might have all those dividends sorted out. Right. These are provisional only at the moment. First 2 are confirmed. 6 Comedy Lad, $27.80 and $5.75. 5 Royden Glen for third, $1.35. Provisional, number 4 Barana third, $2, but subject to confirmation. Quinela's OK, $32.30. Trifecta, subject to that, third placing again, $473 even. Wonderful race, great result, and everybody's going home happy. Well, there we are. It's been decided for yet another year. Great performance by Royden Glen last year. Tonight, he had to bow to Comedy Lad, the winner of the Max Harvey Auckland Trotting Cup. We hope you enjoyed the telecast. Good night to you all.